After 30 years of marriage, Mark Consuelos and Kelly Ripa are still going strong. Consuelos Mark jokingly mentioned that in the event of a breakup with Kelly Ripa, he would date a college student. The host of Live with Kelly and Mark has no plans to divorce Kelly Ripa. However, he casually mentioned that he may consider dating a college student if they were to break up during a lighthearted moment on their program. But that's not how Kelly sees it. That was her remark. If our relationship were to end, I have no doubt that you would totally disintegrate. Mark agreed with his wife and playfully replied, "Indeed," he said in his response. However, I had the impression that someone would be waiting on the other end to rescue me and check on my well-being. I would need to adjust to their college routine and everything. A joke was made by him. Mark and Kelly are always teasing each other about breaking up, as Kelly pointed out. "Oh my goodness, I pray I make it to witness your second wife," she remarked. Notably, Mark and Kelly have been married for 30 years and have 3 children together: Lola, 23, Michael, 27, and Joaquin, 22. All things considered, it was just another regular episode of Live with Kelly and Mark, the morning chat show that has grown ingrained in daytime television and is syndicated. As usual, Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos deftly transitioned between interviews featuring famous guests. In the rare genuine moment, banter about pop news. However, on this particular day, neither a marketing for a big-budget film nor a popular TikTok video grabbed people's attention. The focus instead shifted to an off-the-cuff comment made by the husband and wife co-hosts regarding what Mark would do if their 30-year marriage were to ever come to an end. "I mean, if we ever broke up, I think I'd date a college girl," Mark remarked, leaning into the camera with a dramatic pause and a devilish grin. Instantaneously, the comment set social media ablaze. The long-running actor's reputation stems from performances in hit series like Riverdale and All My Children. But recently, headlines have speculated that he may be planning a secret midlife crisis. The joke actually represented the natural flow and comedy that Mark and Kelly have worked so hard to achieve in their on-screen and off-screen interactions. Their trademark is a common language of lighthearted banter. Live has been successful due to the genuine connection and charisma of its hosts since Kelly Ripa and Michael Strahan first hosted in 2012. In 2021, the dynamic underwent a deliciously intimate change when Mark Consuelos became Kelly's co-host. Viewers got a glimpse behind the scenes of one of Hollywood's longest-standing marriages as Mark responded with good-natured barbs and Kelly could tease him live on TV, expanding their relationship beyond guest interviews. The true connection is this: while keeping their personal lives at a professional distance, Kelly and Mark include them into the curriculum, recounting parental successes and failures, sharing birthday surprises, and providing views into the challenges of juggling work and family life. Audiences connect with the resulting brand of relatability. In spite of their celebrity and money, these two parents are humble enough to acknowledge when they've messed up, whether it's burning dinner or forgetting when to pick up the kids from school. The comment, "I date a college girl," made by Mark seems to have been staged for shock value on television. Any attempt to create the impression of old-fashioned desperate dating practically assures views and shares in today's hyper-sensationalized media environment. The remark seemed more like a jest than a serious admission of love preference to people who were familiar with the couple's regular banter. The suggestion that Mark, who is 53 years old, would trade places with Kelly, who is 54 years old, only serves to heighten the absurdity and comedy value of the situation. By making it seem like he needs someone to console him following our imagined split, Mark makes light of his own frailty. Kelly and Mark have been on air together for a long time, and they have created catchphrases, made fun of each other's cooking abilities and style choices, and even alluded to a made-up no breakup clause in their contracts. Kelly pretended to be horrified in reaction to his joke. Her eyes widened in feigned worry as she answered, "I know if we broke up, fall apart completely." Recognizing the usual routine, the audience laughed. Playing the role of the worried husband, Kelly and Mark bring a smile to everyone's face as they turn a hypothetical situation into a hilarious moment. Kelly, who would never allow her spouse to take the spotlight, retorted with her own zinger, "Please God, I pray that I am still alive when you marry a second time." Kelly then delivered her own biting retort, "I pray I am alive to witness the marriage of your second wife, not out of scandal, but in the characteristic, appreciative laughing of an audience that knows the joke is always going on." The studio audience went into convulsions. Meanwhile, Mark probably pretended to be hurt and furious before cracking a smile. The whole conversation lasted just 30 seconds before the show effortlessly cut to a section about autumnal dishes or an interview with a famous person. Live with Kelly and Mark boils down to the central point. In no way was the joke meant to detract from the main event. I was the star. This particular college student's decision to leave her marriage is just one example of a bigger, meticulously orchestrated trend of marital infidelity. Specifically, the couple has trodden the comic path of discussing their divorce. Kelly suggested a divorce at the airport in a more current clip that went viral for similar reasons. Couples are doing something unique, and I want to run this by you, said she. Hints of recognition in her gaze. She continued by saying, I think we could do well with. And then she described their travel compatibility in a way that was both realistic and believable. Kelly claims that Mark is the type of traveler that requires 4 to 16 hours prior to takeoff and becomes agitated when fans try to touch them at the gate. In character as the beleaguered spouse, Mark swiftly refuted the charge. He then played to the crowd by saying, Don't put that out there. On a personal level, I'm rather pleasant to be around. That's unacceptable. Never one to absolve him. Kelly administered the knockout blow. A lot of people find you pleasant, yet when we're together, you become irritated. Mark first insisted, No, I don't. But then he paused and admitted, I'm furious with you right now for attempting to implicate me. Afterwards, he sighed and looked at the crowd as if to sum up the whole feud. Observing marital strife on television. That's entertaining. Parents arguing once more. Their enchantment is this. In their 30 years of marriage, they have elevated the ordinary household strife into the material they use for their broadcasts. There are two sides to the same coin. The college girl joke and the airport divorce spat, exhibiting an extreme display of genuine intimacy. Too much information TMI goes much beyond made-up breakups. Mark publicly speculated that Kelly's unmarried girlfriends were plotting my demise so that they could wed you. Quickly and without hesitation, Kelly used the greatest marital trump card to silence him. I wouldn't get overly self-confident because my excellent girlfriends are aware. Mark admitted to kissing another woman on a separate date, an admission that made headlines, but was actually a touching account of an old Italian lady who couldn't understand English who kissed him on the cheek after their soccer team won. By subverting the norms of celebrity rumors, they bring the scandal in while hiding the innocent, funny, or loving truth underneath. Be that as it may, this dynamic was never certain. The announcement that Mark Consuelos would replace the charming Ryan Searles as permanent co-host in 2023 did not go over well with everyone. The show's early detractors vented their frustrations on social media, saying that it had grown too harsh. They were very critical of the excessive physical contact and the insincere flirting that they saw. In actuality, though, what those reviewers perceived as insincere was a level of closeness never before seen on daytime television. Kelly Ripa had perfected the work marriage for 20 years. The father-daughter dynamic with Regis Philin was intricate and well-defined. Livewire, Kelly's subsequent work, elaborated on the topic of boundaries. Michael Strahan was an enthusiastic and amiable partner. Additionally, the connection with Ryan Searles was truly sibling-like. There was, however, a professional line that ran through each of them. Any of her former co-hosts who cracked the college girl joke would have been in serious trouble with human resources, potentially losing their careers. According to Mark, it's only Tuesday. Chaos ensued upon his arrival. The show's focus has shifted away from the hosts and their co-hosts. A married couple are the main characters. More than simply the fourth wall came crashing down. Their New York townhouse's glass wall shattered it and replaced it. People are getting more out of it than just watching a chat show. As Mark made fun of, they are seeing their parents' argument. Their relatability conundrum hinges on this unfettered access. Nothing about them seems relatable when put on paper. They have an unfathomable level of privilege, are renowned, rich, and stunningly beautiful. Still, they've become popular by embracing the everyday. They make accessible stories out of their A-list anecdotes. Kelly told the now famous story of how Richard Gere showed up at their house for dinner early, even though she was still in her pajamas, after she had invited him. Our friendship with Richard Gere is the plot.